For a long time, AI has felt like this cool, shiny experiment, right? Well, 2026 is the year that all changes. We're talking about a massive shift, from just playing around with demos to actually putting this stuff to work at a huge scale. This is what we're calling the Great Recalibration. It's where the hype finally has to face reality and where we're laying down the tracks for the next 10 years of tech. And it's happening right now.
And, this quote from IBM it absolutely nails the problem, doesn't it? We're all moving at the speed of AI and trying to find stable ground. Forget about it. It's like trying to stand still on a roller coaster. This insane pace is creating incredible opportunities, for sure, but it also brings a ton of uncertainty. The ground is literally shifting under our feet, which means the old rulebooks for business strategy, yeah, you can pretty much toss those out the window.
Okay, and check this out, because this is where it gets really interesting. Look at this paradox. You've got 85% of execs who are super optimistic about their own company's chances. But then you ask them about the global economy, and yikes, 41% are pessimistic. So what does that tell you? It tells you they believe they can win, but they know it's not going to be easy. They need a whole new playbook to navigate this chaos. So let's dive into that playbook, starting with a totally new kind of AI.
All right, that brings us to part one, the new intelligence. We're not just talking about the AI you type a prompt into anymore. No, this is a whole different ballgame. We're moving towards something that's way smarter, way more autonomous. And the key concept driving all of this? It's called agentic AI. So what the heck is agentic AI? Well, think about it like this. Right now, you might tell an AI, hey, write me an email. But with an agent AI, you give it a big, vague goal, something like plan my family's summer vacation. And then it just goes. It'll research places, find the best flights, book the hotel, and map out an entire itinerary, all without you holding its hand. It's not just a tool you use anymore. It's more like a digital teammate who gets things done for you.
And this is basically how it pulls it off. First, it takes that big goal you gave it and breaks it down into bite-sized pieces. Then it comes up with a whole strategy. Which tools does it need? What information does it have to find? After that, it actually does the work, executing those steps. And here's the magic part. It watches what's happening, and if something goes wrong, like a flight gets canceled, it adapts on the fly. It course corrects all by itself.
Now, I know this might sound like something out of a sci-fi movie, but it is happening right now. Just look at this number from Gartner. And nearly 1,500% surge in companies asking about multi-agent systems. That's not just one agent, that's whole teams of these AIs working together. So companies are way past the what-if stage. They're in the how do we do this stage. But that leads to a really big question. Are their businesses actually built for this?
And that question is the perfect lead-in to part two, rewiring the enterprise. Because here's the thing. You can't just plug this incredibly powerful new AI into your old systems and expect it to work. It's like trying to put a rocket engine on a skateboard. You've got to upgrade the entire foundation.
And one of the biggest changes we're seeing, it's in how we work, how teams are structured. Forget those massive, sprawling engineering departments. Gartner's seeing a huge shift towards what they're calling tiny teams. We're talking about small crews of maybe 2 to 5 people who are incredibly effective. How? Because they have AI development platforms doing all the heavy lifting, writing code, running tests. A tiny team can now build and ship a complex product that used to take an army of engineers. That just completely flips the script on how companies build software.
So to make all this possible, to empower these tiny teams and run these AI agents, you need a rock-solid foundation. And that means a few key things. First, you need some serious horsepower, like AI supercomputing platforms to train these hungry models. Second, you can't just be all in on the cloud or all on-prem. You need a hybrid approach that gives you the best of both worlds. Third, you've got to go all in on those AI native development tools we just talked about. And finally, you have to push that computing power out to the edge, right where the action is, whether that's a factory floor, a hospital, or a retail store.
Okay, so you know the saying, with great power comes great responsibility. Well, with this much AI power comes a ton of risk. I mean, we're talking about autonomous systems handling your most sensitive data. That means you need to be absolutely obsessed with security and trust. And that brings us to part 3, fortifying the future. This puts us in a really tough spot. It forces us to ask this critical question. If we're building our world on AI, how in the world do we protect it from bad guys who are also using AI? It's an AI-powered arms race, and all the old security strategies, they're basically useless now. So the new strategy, according to Gartner, has to be preemptive. You can't just wait to get hit. It's all about these 3 Ds. First, you deceive. You set up traps and decoys to fool attackers. Second, you deny. You make your systems a moving target, constantly changing so they can't get a lock. And third, you disrupt. You use your own AI to predict what the attackers are going to do next and stop them before they even start. It's moving from being a firefighter to being a fire marshal. And this security issue isn't just about hackers anymore. It's getting geopolitical. Get this, a whopping 93% of executives say that AI sovereignty is now a must-have for their 2026 strategy. So what is that? It's basically controlling your own destiny, making sure your AI and your data aren't subject to the laws or influence of another country. Suddenly, where your data physically lives and which rules apply to it, that's not just an IT problem. It's a core business survival issue. And think about this. In a world full of deepfakes and AI-generated everything, how can we believe what we see? How do we trust anything? The answer might be something called digital provenance. The easiest way to think about it is like a digital birth certificate for a piece of information. It proves where it came from, who made it, and if anyone has messed with it along the way. In a world where anything can be faked, this is going to be the bedrock of trust. Okay, which brings us to our final, and honestly, our most important part. We can talk all day about agentic AI and hybrid clouds and cybersecurity, but all of that amazing technology is completely pointless if we lose sight of who it's all for. At the end of the day, this is about people. And here's something that might totally flip what you think you know. The whole story about employees being terrified of AI taking their jobs, well, the data says otherwise. Look at this. Across every single age group, people are more excited to use AI than they are scared of it. They want it. They see it as a way to get rid of the boring parts of their job so they can focus on what matters. The buy-in is already there. Leaders just need to tap into it. And that focus on people has to extend to your customers too. The message from this study is loud and clear. Do not lie. 2/3 of people said they would walk away from a brand if they found out it was secretly using AI in their interactions. It's fascinating. People don't expect the AI to be perfect, but they absolutely 100% demand honesty about when it's being used. And finally, focusing on humanity also means focusing on our planet. Let's be real. All this computing power that AI needs, it consumes a massive amount of energy, and that has a real environmental cost. So by 2026, sustainability in tech isn't a nice-to-have anymore, it's a must-do. We're talking about companies having a carbon budget for their IT, choosing smaller, more efficient AI models, and treating their environmental impact data just as seriously as they treat their financial reports. So, this is where we'll leave it. With this one, huge question. We've talked about all these incredible trends, smarter AI, new ways of working, new risks, and this urgent need to focus on people. All of this is happening, it's shaping the world of tomorrow, but nothing is set in stone. The choices we all make, right now, will determine our future. Are we going to be the ones designing this new world, or are we just going to be living in it? The great recalibration is happening. The only real question is, what are you going to build?